Alright friends, today let's go into our first area of the reserve, which is the Little Tree Forest. Alright, first off we're seeing some bamboo, which is pretty common out here in the forest. You'll see a lot of it as we go along. And to the right I do see an okapi by another stalk of bamboo, kind of more to the left side. There's also bird species on the right. There's a saddle-billed stork. And to the left, looks like there's some antelopes over there. Those copper-colored antelopes with those tilted back horns are bongos. So many things to look at. Now those saddle-billed storks, those birds right there, they have that yellow piece on top of their bills. Almost looks like they're wearing a pair of a saddle on top of their bills. That's where they get their name from. Now that okapis are known for that stripe pattern on their legs. Almost looks like they're wearing a pair of zebra stripe pants. Very fashionable choice indeed. Now despite that zebra pattern, they're actually going to be related to the giraffes. They have similar body structure, face structure, and even a similar tongue to the giraffes. Their tongues are both prehensile, which means hand-like, so it's very easy for them to grip leaves off of those bushes. Now, coming up over to our right, these are some more antelope species like those bongos that we saw earlier. These are greater kudus. Greater kudus are one of the largest antelopes on this reserve. And bongos are not, but they're still pretty cute. And bongos are actually known as the ghosts of the forest because they're very shy and reclusive creatures. And they'll actually use those tilted back horns of theirs to be able to push through the dense foliage of the forest. Now, like I said, there was bamboo a lot throughout the forest. Bamboo is actually a source that grows very, very quickly in a large amounts. So buying bamboo products is actually a great conservation effort because it helps support the use of a renewable resource like bamboo rather than a non-renewable resource like normal wood. Alright, now we're going to be entering our next area of the reserve, which is called the Selfie River. This river is home to a lot of semi-aquatic animals, so as we're going along, make sure we're looking in those waterways. Like to our right, there are some pink-fanged pelicans right there. These pelicans are the only ones to nest in trees out of the pelican family. And their feathers might not be that prominent right now, but they will get more prominent during their mating seasons, because the ladies like a little bit of pink. Now, especially in this water body over here to our left, we have to especially look for any bubbles, ripples, or any even objects like blobs basically moving under the water. It might signal to us that there is an animal in there.
I think there's one right here.
I don't see anything right now. Looks a little bit quiet. Actually, to our left, if you look over there, there is a Nile hippopotamus.
Oh, look. Oh!
I guess the Nile hippo is getting some zoomies. Now, it is pretty common to see them in the water, so that is a pretty rare sighting to see them outside of the water.
Oh, there's another head.
It's because they will use the water as a protection for their skin to not get sunburned like us. And also just because they will sink down to the bottom of the river floors and be able to walk or tread on the bottom. It's because they're not really strong swimmers, so they choose to walk on the bottom instead. Hippos are also a very territorial creature. They'll have competitions where they open their mouths really, really wide, and whoever can open their mouths the widest gets all the power in the group of hippos, otherwise known as a bloat hippo. Now, water is essential to all life, so it's important that we take our part in protecting it. Some of the ways that we can do this is buying environmentally friendly chemicals to prevent dangerous runoff, or signing up for different water recleanings if you have the time. This helps get trash out of there and prevents aquatic animals from getting stuck in the trash or digesting them. It also just helps us out as well because it keeps our major waterways clean that we need to drink from. After all, we need to survive from water as well, not just those aquatic animals. Alright friends, let's enter the next area of the reserve, which is called the savanna. The savanna is known to be very, very dry, very, very open. You're going to start to notice there's a lack of foliage, bushes, trees out here. This is because of those long drought periods that the savanna experiences. These drought periods can last almost 9 months out of the year. So they get little to no rainfall for that time period. So water can be very scarce, but animals have adapted ways to either finding water on common sources, or just ways to help cool down their bodies in general. Now to the right, looks like there's some Ankole cattle over there. Ankole cattle are known for those big horns on their heads. Almost looks like they can be very, very heavy, but those horns are actually pretty light in weight. They have a honeycomb structure within their horns to help cool themselves down. You can think of it as almost like having an air conditioning unit on top of your head. Just because it has blood vessels in those horns, it helps cool down their bodies. And for the Ankole cattle, both males and females do have those horns, because everyone needs a little bit of AC. Now to our left, there's going to be some sable antelopes over there. You can look over your left shoulder. Those sable antelopes have those tilted back horns on top of their heads, which helps protect themselves from predators that might jump on top of their backs. And they're also the official symbol for the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. This is because they're very fierce and very brave, and we like that to represent us out here. Now also out here in the savanna, you'll notice some rock-like structures like the one to the left. These are termite mounds. Termite mounds will grow very, very tall typically. This is because they can harden in the sun and be able to basically build on top of each other to reach those tall lengths. They're the home to termites, but they also will be used as scratching posts by the animals out in the savanna. And if the animals are small enough, they can also use them as a vantage point. They will climb on top of those termite mounds and be able to get a great overlook of the savanna. They're made of dung, saliva, and soil. And you'll typically see them around the savanna like this. Let's see what else we can find. Looks like there are some wildebeest over there to our right. Oh, and it also looks like there are some animals to our left we're going to be able to see. Looks like there is an eland, one of the world's largest antelopes, but also some giraffes. Now that would be called a group of giraffes. We also like to call that a tower of giraffes. These giraffe species will typically have more jagged spots on their coats. Almost looks like some puzzle pieces on it.
I think they're hungry.
This is pretty different from other species of giraffes because they typically have more circular spots on them. Now those elands will pretty much be able to jump 5 feet up into the air. And they have this bump on their neck, kind of looks like a skin flap, that is called a dewlap, and it will help keep cool of the elands. Now these wildebeest will travel in very, very large groups. Some of the largest groups that they can travel in is about 1.5 million of them. And they will travel in these large groups a couple thousand miles per year because they're a migratory animal. So they'll follow those migratory patterns in these very large groups.
You like the safari?
To our left, looks like there's an African elephant over there. So it looks like there's multiple.
Oh, there's another one back there.
These elephants, females will weigh about 9,000 pounds, while males will weigh about 13,000 pounds.
Oh, there's one back in the back too.
They also have very sensitive skin. They will actually use mud out in the savanna to help coat their skin and protect it from the sun and from bug bites and other environmental factors like that.
In the road.
Oh, it looks like we'll get a great view of one of them
Oh,
right
look,
here.
look, look.
It looks like
Oh,
this
it's
one actually has
drinking
some dry
water.
mud on them.
Cool.
Oh, and I'm gonna eat some.
Now coming up over here to the left, looks like there's some greater flamingos. These flamingos are the pale
look at the
and
bunny.
larger species of pink
See
flamingos.
the bunny?
And although we know them for being iconically pink, they are going to actually hatch gray and will develop their pink feathers to about 2 years into their lives.
The duckies.
They will eat brine shrimp and other crustaceans like that, which contain a thing called beta carotene in it. And that beta carotene will provide them that pink color inside their feathers. Which is also why that pink feathers might take a little bit to develop, because that beta carotene does need to build up in their systems. Now over here to the left, looks like there's a mud pit. We also call that a mud wallow. Mud wallows are pretty common out here in the savannah because animals will use mud wallows to roll around in and coat their skin nice and good in that mud. Helps cool themselves down. Now over here to the left, I spot a very speedy animal. I spot a cheetah. It's gonna be up on that hill. Now cheetahs can run about 60 miles per hour. They use their semi-retractable claws to gain traction, and they use their tails almost like a bow rider to go even faster. So the tails will go in a circular motion and help them balance and make sharp direction changes. Now cheetahs also have a black ring around their eyes, which helps deflect the glare from the sun. It's one of those adaptations that they have to the savannah. It really does help them out in these sunny days. Now these rocks that we're approaching are called Kobe rocks. These rocks stand very, very tall and have a great overlook of the savannah. Animals like the lion, which is up there to our left, will use these rocks as a vantage point or just a place to sunbathe. So I think the lion wants you to take a photo.
No, he's yawning.
Now that is a male lion. The way that we can tell is that he has a mane around his face. Female lions in this species will not have that mane. Looks like there is a female lion right there. Females are actually the ones that will go out and hunt, while the males will stay back and protect the group of lions, otherwise known as a pride of lions. This is because the males are more overprotective of the young, so they like to be the ones that will stay back.
See them both?
Now it is pretty uncommon to see them awake like this. This is because they sleep 16 to 20 hours out of the
Right
day.
here, in front of the rock.
I saw then there's two.
And the natural window that they are awake for is typically when they will do their hunts.
The one all the way up top's the boy.
I only saw one.
Looks like there are some white rhinoceros over here. These white rhinos are gonna be the ones that will roll around in those mud wallows, like the one that we saw earlier in the savannah. And it also looks like there's some water buck near those white rhinos. These white rhinos have horns on their noses, which are made of keratin, which is the same thing that makes up our hair and nails. You kind of see that dried mud on their skin as well. And they can run about 35 miles per hour. Now to the right, there are some eggs laying on the ground. I'm going to assume these are ostrich eggs. That's because of their size. Now, these ostrich eggs are one of the largest bird eggs in the world, which does make sense because ostriches are one of the largest birds. And ostriches will typically lay their eggs next to other ostrich eggs. It's pretty common behavior for them. this is the edge of the reserve called Magadi Glen, and it's the home to the warden and his post. Go. Now it does look like the warden has gone to bed for tonight. So let's hurry on by and not disturb the warden. Now friends, all the animals in nature that we saw today can be protected by you. Some of those conservation projects that you can research about and that are happening worldwide are things like buying bamboo products instead of normal wood products, or starting different waterway cleanings, or buying environmentally friendly chemicals. This all does help take us one step closer to protecting our natural world, and it truly does also help out those animals that we saw today, and I'm sure they would appreciate it. Now it does look like we are approaching those departure docks where we will be disembarking, so I ask that you start looking around your rows. Make sure you have all your belongings. I don't want you forgetting anything. And once again, y'all, my name was Maddie, and I'm from the very far distant land of Orlando, Florida. And here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, we think goodbye is too final and way too sad. So we like to say Kwaharini, which means to go well. So Kwaharini, my friends, go well, go wild, go make a difference out there, go learn something new, but most of all, go have a great rest of your day, my friends.